Doesn't matter if you have a gi or no gi on here. It's not going to matter. I'm just wearing it so I can wear my black belt. So I called it breaking bad. So arm bars when everything else fails. We're not going to be able to cover everything. First thing I want to talk about is like what is an armbar, right? A lot of people like, if you actually know what an armbar is, you understand the concept of an armbar. Once you understand concepts of of what a submission is, then it's kind of like opening a book and you can kind of see it everywhere, right? Rather than go, well, I know that armbar from first stripe white belt technique number 3, and blue belt technique number 5. Okay, I want you guys to be able, as a white belt, all the way up through your jiu-jitsu career, to understand what an armbar is. So, Grant, if I can use you. So, an armbar, like any submission, I have to control, and I'll move around too, or if you guys want to come around this way. I need to control the joint above and below where I'm going to break. Okay, and in this case, with an armbar, I need to control the shoulder. Okay, between the shoulder and the elbow, that I need to control that until I'm ready to do my submission. That's my control position. If I don't control that, there's too much movement in the shoulder, and you can move this elbow around, I'm never going to get the armbar. Okay, and that's where a lot of times we lose it. Once I have that locked in, right, then I move up to the top of the lever, which is his wrist, which gives me the breaking mechanics. Okay, so everything I want to show you here, we're going to be in positions where we're trying to do something else, right? Maybe I'm trying to pin. I'm going to go through, who here has kind of like trouble with triangle chokes? Like you try to do triangles and people are always kind of powering out of them. Okay, I'm going to show you some concepts of where the armbar is. And that's the beautiful thing about a triangle. There's always an armbar and omoplata in that situation. But I need to isolate that. And once I isolate that and I have this shoulder in isolation and I control that upper arm, it's going to allow me now to maneuver into the breaking mechanics of controlling the wrists. Okay? So if I have Grant, and I'll just stay here. If I have Grant and I just have my legs across, and it looks like I have no real control of his shoulder. So I go back to do the break, right? He can do like, he starts turning his elbow, he starts turning out, and I completely lose it. Right? It's not until I have complete control of his arm. Now try to move. Now as he tries to move, I can get my breaking mechanics and I can finish. But all I do is go, there's that arm, I'm going to catch it and go back. That's where I'm going to lose it. Okay? So, very important that I need to control this shoulder before I ever think about breaking that elbow. Okay? And sometimes when people do it, it goes very quick, right? But it's because you have that control position. Other times it's going to be nice and slow and methodical, right? And you're going to see the person kind of get trapped, and they'll be like, ah, shit, and then the armbar. Okay? So, I'll show you this. This is a weird fucking armbar. Okay? First time I stumbled on top of this, I was like, the person tapping, I'm like, there's no way that actually worked. Like, be nice. No, you can throw that away. And I was like, how did this work, right? So I was in the side control position, right? And I was leaning in, and I had his shoulder isolated with my chest in my rib cage, okay? And I started to slide back, and I got a pinch with my elbow, okay? Arms going across the wedge, and I just kind of came up here and leaned back. And I got this pull. I asked the person, like, what happened? And they said, I felt like my chest was going to rip off, and then my shoulder, and then my arm was going to break. But what I had done is I isolated that shoulder, okay, and his upper arm, and as I moved back towards his wrist, I had that breaking mechanics. Yeah. And it was weird, right? But because I understand the concept of what the armbar was, I was able to kind of go, oh shit, that's what it was, and kind of repeat that. Okay? So it can come from really, really, really weird positions. I like using modified character palm. Okay? We can play this one. Once again, I'm here. I'll use my body to kind of trap and control. Right? My elbow's pinching, and his elbow upper arm, and I have his shoulder locked in. Very simple for me to lock in it now as I step it over. Bring my heel and my knee together. I have that shoulder locked in. Now it's just a matter of popping back. Okay? So instead of going through, oh, I got to transition, I want to go to mount, I got to do all these other things, I'm going to finish it off. I also have the habit of trying the armbar the other as well. So I just want you guys to try this, just to see just from a very common position where you may not be thinking armbar, right? You need to understand this concept. I have his shoulder on top of my leg. I have his arm trapped. And I like using armpit grips in both D and no D because it allows me to have that control and put that tension. I'm just going to step over. Right? If you have to push his head aside, step over or lift your leg, that's fine. I'll step over, bring my heel to my knee, so I'm kind of crushing his head. So I now have that shoulder lock. And I'm to the outside. I'm just out here. Try to pull your arm through. You can't get it. And it's just a matter of popping it. Make sense? So you just try from here, very simple. And then we'll get into, I'm going to go into a triangle, right? And I'm going to use that to set up some different armbar solutions. Okay, and we'll also look at omoplatas, and if omoplatas fail, how I can turn that into an armbar. Okay? I don't clap. I don't say gross. I don't go 1, 2, 3. Okay, if you feel like you need to do that, go ahead, but I won't. Okay? Let's go. On the reverse kick, I really want, here, Jim's that. I want it as deep as I can get it, like right underneath, because I don't want, if this goes on the other side, if he gets his elbow to the floor, he's going to post, and now I'm in trouble. So I don't want to be in a position where it's easy for him to get that arm. I may even crowd him in here, and then I have to come in, and it's going to help me. Versus if he's flat on the ground, I may step over, and I'm going to lose it. So I want to have it as deep as I can so that ramps up, especially when I do this. Okay? I want to ramp it up. So this is a pretty simple, I think most of you have probably seen this kind of armbar, but this is a nice concept to show you how I'm isolating the shoulder, I step it over, I get my braking mechanics. Okay? All in one easy step. Okay? And if for some reason it fails, right, I have the ability, right, to come in to a more position, right, or I can set up my armbar from a little bit. Okay, so let's talk about triangle first. What's this? Is that? So however you set up your triangles, doesn't matter. Okay, so when I get my triangle on and I have a loose, okay, we'll call it a loose lock triangle. So think about triangle is not just a choke, it's also a guard. I call it upper body half guard. Okay, I'm controlling his head, I'm controlling his shoulder, I'm using my legs to prevent his body to pass. Okay, it allows me to have some upper body submission. So when I'm in a loose position, like I'm square on, I'm not going to get the triangle choke here. Okay, and it's going to require me to have some movement, but maybe I don't feel I can do that yet. So I'm going to do a loose lock across his back to make him carry my weight, and I'm going to lock my leg in behind his shoulder so he cannot retract it. I don't want to come up here where he can pull this arm through, and now he's going to double underpass. Okay, I want to lock it in. Okay, so right away, I've got this arm. I'm going to take, so he has his right hand, I'm going to come across, and I'm going to pin it. I ideally want his elbow right around my belly button. Okay, and I'm just going to grab his wrist here. As he tries to posture up now, I'm going to pull it over and break. Okay, I'm going to roll over onto my shoulder and break it over my head. Okay, so we're here. As he goes, boom. I'm going to break it, we're over and done with. Okay, I wanted the triangle, I wanted the choke, right? Because the choke's the ultimate kill in jiu-jitsu. I make him go into the phantom zone, but I can't get it, so I'm going to take the arm. It's really, really important. If I'm doing it like this, where I don't control his shoulder, if he lifts up and I go, he pulls that out, now I'm in trouble, right? And now you got to start playing defensive jiu-jitsu. I want it so worst case scenario is I can drop back down into a guard, into like a full guard type position. Okay, and then start back over again. So the key here is I want to weigh heavy and lock in behind his shoulder. Like I can squeeze here, I'm not going to get the triangle choke, but his arm's locked in. I have it now, right? And I'm just going to lock in here. I want him to lift up and try to turn the corner, and I break. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Really, really important. Block that shoulder so he can't pull it back. It's trapped, okay? That's the control of that piece. Elbow in my belly button, cross control here as he rolls over, I'm going to break. Okay, so I'm putting my hips into it. I'm letting my hips do the braking mechanic. I'm keeping his arm locked to my body and letting the twist in the hips do the job. Okay, does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Make sure when you have this, that I'm locking that in and I'm keeping it pulled in tight. If you let it float, it's going to go over, right? But I have a solution for that. Because if it goes over, he's probably going to go to defense where he wraps his leg. We'll play that game. Okay, I'm okay with it. Hey, you need to see one more time? Or you guys good?
Yeah.
One more time.
Thanks, guys.
So set up my triangle, loose. I'm locking in behind his shoulder so he cannot get that arm back. I'm gonna lock it in here. As he postures up, I'm gonna break. Okay. As he postures up, my hips go. See where his arm is? But I use my arm here so that it doesn't slide and get away from me. It's here and break. Okay, let's go.
Like it's getting turned this way. It's not even neutral. And then he's pulling my arm.
We set up our triangle. Now maybe this one, I'm in position where I'm getting closer to the choke, right? I'm able to get my leg to cover his shoulder, and I'm starting to kind of get in that position for the squeeze, okay? Now, what will happen sometimes when you get here, you get someone who's big and strong, they will start to posture up. Yeah, he's strong. He postures up and your legs will eventually break open, right? And this is where most people, they're like, fuck the triangle, I'm gonna get swept, I hate this, okay? So, step one of this, and I'm okay with him doing this. As he postures up, my foot goes into his hip. This is my distance control, okay? And I'm putting weight on him. As he wants to continue to posture up, I let my legs straighten, and I hook.
Oh, it's fine. It's just my head.
Okay? And I'm going to X-guard his face. Right here. Okay? Come as deep as I can, and now I'm here. I can pop it here and break it. Or if I don't like Grant, and I do like Grant, I can start to sweep him, and as he does it, I allow gravity to break his arm. Okay? Or I can get him down in this position and I can finish it from that point. Okay? But when you're up like that, hanging and your shoulders are still attached, it's very easy to get that break. Okay? So this is where I'm really encouraging him to posture up. So I'm here, my foot goes in the hip. He postures up, I come around. You have to keep a good tight control of this. Here. Okay? I can keep my hand inside here just to make sure, and I lock it. I can pop it here. If I can hook him, right? Where's the camera? Got it ready? 1, 2, 3, IBJJF, boom. And I can get my break. Okay. Right? I'm still working on my abs before I can do this. Okay? But the key here is as I go up and he postures up, is I want my foot in the hip. If I don't have that, I can't get my control, right? Let him start the posture up more. The foot comes around, boom. If you're in an immediate need, foot on top of foot, and break it here, okay? Or this is even better to lock. And then you really want to embarrass him, I can break his elbow on that side too, knock him down, and then break that arm as well. Okay? Foot in the hip. That's what's going to control the distance and prevent him from breaking that guard and passing it. Because remember, the triangle choke is a guard. Okay, so don't give him the points. Okay, one more time. I'll do it so you guys can see it from over here. I'm in my triangle. I pop this up. I have this control. I'm going to let him continue to posture up. Take my foot out, slide it over, and on top. Drop him down. Okay, I can break here. I can hook. I can grab whatever, or I can just bring his head to the floor, right, and then sit back. So get this. Okay? So you never have to fear the triangle, right? The armbar is there for you if you need. Does that make sense? You see it again, or you guys get to try it? You ready to go fuck around, find out, fuck it up? Okay, let's go. You got questions, let me know. When I have this, remember, I'm going to cross arm and control his tricep. Right? Same side's going to control his wrist, and I'm here. As he postures up, I don't lose this. I keep this nice and tight. As he continues to posture up, I come around. See, I don't let his elbow go past my hip. It's still in there. Some of you are letting it happen like this, and then you're just going to get relaxed. Okay? You need to keep control of this arm. And that's why I like to posture up as he's trying to pass, because it keeps my hips high and gets his arm from blocking. As he postures up more, boom. Remember, you can do this one or here. Okay? So I want to be up. Okay? So I'm forcing him to have to posture up higher and higher and higher. So it allows me to clear that foot to do that X on his face. Right? If he's hunkered down and I try to do the X, he may bury it. I'm not going to get it. Okay? At that point, if he stays bunkered down, I'm going to choke the shit out of him. Right? If I'm here and he's not coming, he's staying down and fine, I'm just going to choke him out, sweep him over, or break his arm from that. Okay? But it's very important that I'm kind of matching. As he goes up, I'm going up. Right? Until I feel that really good position. Now everything's trapped in. He wants to go higher. Hook. Right? See how I'm topping his shoulder? Hook. I could even come in here and block it, or lock it. Okay? I've got this as a shield across his body. You can't let that elbow drift back towards your butt, or you're going to lose it. Okay? If it does, then you know you got nothing, and you got to scramble. Your guard's blown, you got to sit up, and you got to scramble. Okay? You guys want to try that one more time? Okay, let's go.
Is there?
Yeah, when I put up, I don't have the same level of throw. When I can X that head, I've got it, right? I've got him locked in. It's going to be much harder for him to get away. And if he does pull out, my feet are there. But when I do that position, what's important is when I get this, right, I'm really putting pressure into his shoulder. Like I'm keeping him pushed. Because the elbow is going to flare a little bit away. So I'm really going to use that force, and I'm trying to break. So I'm here. But as far as this, I mean, if he happens to pull it out, right, I'm right back into a guard position, and we'll play in the Yeah.
So for your positional hygiene, you're trying to get like your ankle in the divot.
Yeah, I want to be heavy, like right on the shoulder, right? Like I'm a backpack strap. I want to be as heavy as I can, so I'm drawing him down. Okay. And someone asked a question about the hooking of the foot. The hooking of the foot's important because it prevents him. If my foot's loose, he can pull back, right? And he can get that shoulder free. I want it here, so as he's trying to pull back, he can't get. Look, he turns his head right into it. And then I can break, like I said, I can break here, hook him, drop him down, boom, and I'll break his ankle at the same time. Right? Okay, so I want to be heavy on that shoulder. I really want to be boom. So that arm's coming in, and as he's trying to extract it, I've got that hook in behind. So he's got to carry everything that I got. Now, nothing's absolute. If he gets out, he gets out. But at least I put myself in a good position where both my feet are in front of him, and he's retreating now, right? You can't guard pass as you retreat, right? Guard passing only happens when you're moving forward. So if I can force him to retreat, that's good. Now I can start playing my guard a bit, okay? But this, I can't stress how important the foot and the hip is. If I don't have the foot and the hip, and I'm not controlling this elbow, I'm not going to get any of it. Right? I could even just simply switch it over to this position too, right? Kind of like a traditional armbar, where my feet are both on the head, right? A little bit more risky, but it works as well. Okay? And that can always slip into this and not be good. Okay? Questions? Oh, the sun's coming out. Jesus must love this armbar.
Everything you feel to that point, you had some kind of good body pressure behind his shoulder.
Yes.
And then you're giving up that leg and he's struggling. And I'm curious if you can articulate what you're doing to compensate for that loss in that leg.
Yeah. So in the first one, good question. In the first one, I don't have the angle, so I'm blocking it here. In this one, I'm trying to go for the triangle choke, right? And I know if I don't get it, I'm going to lose it. So this knee, I'm pinching in, right? I'm still pinching and I'm blocking as much as I can. And I'm going to let him, as he wants to go up, I'm going to posture up and let him have that. Now I'm blocking that shoulder. And now I've got it. Now he can try to pull away all he likes, right? Even if I don't want to armbar him. Well, and I'm like, okay, I like my Earl Grey setup for my Kimuras. I'll hit him from here. Okay, it gives me opportunity to make sure that I've got that kind of guard in place for it. So I'm still pinching his shoulder with my legs, and I'm now going to use that leg Xing in the back to prevent him from just freely being able to go. Now, big strong guy like Big Mike here, right? He may just go and get it. And I have to say, you know what? Fuck it. Didn't get the triangle, didn't get the armbar, but guess what? Didn't pass my guard. So that's a win for me. Okay? Or I can catch him. Hopefully, if we are playing that where he's retreating, I can scramble up, I can take him down, I can play from top. Okay? Any other questions? That prevents him, yes, because I'm pushing down, it's preventing the stack, and he's got to fight that, right? If not, his hips are free to move wherever he wants. So it allows me to gauge that distance. And sometimes I'll push right off that and I'll walk my shoulders back and drag him back down and then set up a triangle choke from there. Okay? If the foot's not on the hip, I have no control of his posture. Other than whatever my weight is, he can pick me up no problem, like a suitcase, right? But if I put the foot in the hip, I can mitigate it. I can slow it down, maybe for those 2-3 seconds that I need to get in position to get the submission or figure out what the hell I'm going to do so he's not crushing. Okay? Any other questions? All right, so let's look at another somewhat common defense to a triangle. So I set up my triangle, and they think, oh, I'm sneaky, I'm going to hide behind. Okay? You know, oh, fuck, where's my armbar go? Okay, now I said this is Breaking Bad armbars, but to me, his shoulder's part of his arm. So this one, I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. Like, I could go after this arm, right? Violent armbar, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put my hand on his elbow so we can't extract it. And I'm going to push him over and a sweep. And I just want his hip underneath my shoulder, his wrist underneath my hip. That's it. Okay? Now this is pretty uncomfortable, right? And I'm just going to sit.
Position.
Yeah, I know you do. Look at you. Oh, man, my little baby. Okay?
Welcome, Globetrotters.
Yes, welcome to Globetrotters. I'm going to squeeze my knees together, and as I do that, I'm going to cup his elbow and pull it up. And it's just a Kimura, right? It looks like bullshit, but it works. Especially if you're over 35, male, and you have shitty shoulders. This one works. The key here is I'm leaning my hip on his wrist. So what's a Kimura? It's a shoulder lock. I have to control the joint above and below, right? What's the joint above? That shoulder. I'm controlling it. What's the joint below? This elbow. I'm controlling it. I'm going to pinch to make it super tight on that side and make it really uncomfortable for him. And then I'm going to pull it up. Okay? It's a ridiculous submission. Okay? It works. And then if I don't like that, we can go into Omoplata. Okay? We'll go there in a minute. Okay? But if that doesn't work, I have Omoplatas that I can go to. Okay? So one more time. So I'm here. He's like, ha ha ha. I'm going to hide that. Right? I'm like, that's fine. Just cup. Let's turn this way back. I'm going to cup his elbow. Right? So he can't extract it. Okay? Pop up. Drop him down. It's like I'm hanging him. Okay? I'll let him move his wrist so it gets right underneath my hip. That's where I want it. Okay? I want to squeeze because I need to lock. If I just do this, nothing. Right? If I squeeze and now I pull, I get my tap. Okay? One more time. Just enough. Setting up. He's tricky. He's holding it there. I'm just going to pinch it, knock him over. Slide back so that I can see that his elbow's bent. Pinch to isolate the shoulder. Come in, hook it. Get your fingers underneath. pull up to the top. Okay, and if he doesn't tap from this, that's okay. He's not going anywhere. Right? And then we'll talk about how I transition into an omoplata, which I can also transition into armbar. Okay? See you later, try. Okay, it's all about the positioning, right? If they do something, they jam their arm underneath there and they don't want it to come back out, that's fine. You got the pin on the ground, right? You got the pin on the ground and the arm's gonna be super deep, so I roll in the block from that position, right? But what I'm doing here is when I have this locked up, when he's here, right? I'm gonna block that and I'm gonna pop my hips up. So when I pop those hips up, I can get them to land and squirm over to where I want it to be. Right now it's trapped. Squeeze, 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 pop. Okay? Now, if he's got his arm buried deep, I'm not going to get it. But his arm's buried nice and deep, that it makes it easy for me to transition into one pop. Right? If he wants it deep, I'll give it to him deep. Right? And I'll take that grand nice and deep. Just wait till about midnight to me. Walk in the pub. All right. So let's talk about omoplata. So when I hit an omoplata, right? What's the typical defense from omoplata? Roll it, right? Okay, so he rolls out, right, and then his arm goes free. Okay.
If you like, try.
So if you like IBJJF, right, you don't mind the rollout because your leg's engaged, so it's a sweep for 2 points, right? So I don't want to be parallel to him. I want to be off a bit of an angle, right? And once again, I cup his elbow and I pinch his wrist, okay? Because I know he's going to roll, okay? But the way that I have this, my body's not going to be parallel with his body, my leg is. So when he rolls, I get that pinch. And I'll break it off. Or, I can come up here and break it. But I'm getting it pinched in here. His ability now, when his elbow's up high now, to pull that out is really tough. If he does pull it out, I'm in the perfect position to come and finish my attacks. Okay? If I'm parallel body-wise, the ground, right? Like if I'm here, as parallel as I can get. He can either step, or if he rolls out, it's really tough for me to keep that arm. It's a lot tougher for me to keep it when I come in because he could start to turn. Okay? So this was kind of one of those fuck around and find out things, which that's what I love about jiu-jitsu. That when I get to an omoplata, I kind of turn here, almost like I want to be perpendicular to him and lock my leg over his head, right? That prevents him from sitting up, right? But it also kind of encourages him to roll. So when he rolls, boom, I turn into him now, right? My knees are going up at an angle, and I have his elbow locked in. So now I can break. Or, right, I can step over, pull him up, semi-triangles. There's all kinds of stuff that I can do from that position. But I don't line up parallels with strength on that. So I'm here. I'm hanging out. I'm at this angle. Number one, he can't step over me because my leg's blocking. Right? And I'm going to show you what I do when someone wants to step over the punch. So I'm here. I know he wants to roll. So as he rolls, I just slide up in nice and tight. And there's his arm forming. Okay? And I can pop it. I tuck my foot in behind, so I'm isolating. Kind of like I was tucking my foot in behind his head. I tuck it in behind his rib cage. Bring this arm up to completely block him from being able to roll into me. And now I've got a lot. Try to pull your arm out. It's not going anywhere. For the break. And if you don't want to break it, right, you can come up with your side control and play your game from there. Okay? Makes sense? Can you see it again?
Yes.
I do not go parallel to him. I'm going to be out here, right? So I like to play kind of here over his head. Sometimes I'll hook here, or I like to really put my foot underneath the face because it's disgusting, right? And it really controls him in the soft. But if he's going to roll, as he rolls, watch what I do. I drive my knees up toward the side. My feet are underneath the top. I'm hooking, right? He's not going anywhere. Grab that wrist, and I get my boot. Okay?
But can you hitchhike out of that?
No. Very difficult. Right?
You want me to do?
Let's see a hitchhike out of it.
Oh, okay.
So we're here. Look, once again, I have control of his upper arm. And I get perpendicular. I get my shin parallel to it. As he rolls, my feet coming behind him. He can do all he wants. If he goes to hitchhike, keep going.
Oh, God.
Here we go again, Zach.
Doing it. Oh,
And now I'll just pop the clutch. Right, I'll go like into a toy bar. So as long as I'm in that position, as he rolls, my shin's there to keep him at a distance. And as long as I can keep tension on his arm and keep it, he's just going to be in that death spring, right? At some point, he's going to get caught. And if he doesn't get caught, he gets out, that's fine. My legs are there. He's going to scramble, run away because he doesn't play that game anymore. And we can start playing card games. Okay? Let's give that a try. So, let's look at Omoplata when Grant's like, fuck that. IBJJF, and I don't give up points. Right? I'm not going to let you sweep. So I'm in this position here. And he wants to kind of step over. Well, he needs to clear my hip. So I stick my leg in there, kind of like a K-guard. Bring my knees over inside like I did before. And now I break his arm. Okay? Now if he wants to roll over, I'll break his arm. Okay? So this position with the shin parallel to his body prevents him from being able to step over. It encourages him to roll away, but it prevents him to step over. And I would rather him roll and go into scramble than him step over and be on top of him. Okay? So watch again. I have him. I'm blocked up. He wants to step over me. So if I'm parallel, right? Step over. Oh, fuck, this sucks. Because I've lost it now, right? Ass is in my face, right? He's grinding my fucking ball sack with his elbow, and he's out, right? And now we got to do that. I hate that, right? Well, I don't hate it, Grant does it. I kind of like it. So I'm here. So I stay here. So as he tries to go, I pop my shin in, right? And I pop my shin in. Now he tries to step over. I don't care. I've got the break here. I can grab that leg. The only way he's going to try to attempt to defend this is to roll, but I'm already in the armbar breaking position.
you can step over there, right? Because
He can't step over because now I get my shins wedged straight up against him. He's not going to go, right? So his only option at that point is to either tap from the break, or he tries to roll out and he's going to tap from the break. Okay. So, time for folks over here. So I get my position. I'm parallel, right? And I always like to keep my feet kind of in here playing around, aggravating. It's on top of his head, just aggravating him, right? He wants to step over. I jam that in, right? Jam that in. Go ahead, step over. Wow. I love it. At that point, he's just deciding where he wants to land with a broken arm. Okay? And I'm just obliging him. Right? So you gotta remember is your opponent will tell you what they want to be submitted by. Okay? Don't force it. Just go with it. Right? But I have that armbar locked up. I know I have it. No matter where we start to orient in space, I've got it. Okay? So one more quick time. We hit the Omoplata automatically. I move to this position. It allows me to control his arm a little bit better, and I'm blocking. So I know I have a guard here right away. I have a guard. Right? I have something blocking him from coming over. As he starts to step over, 1, 2, switch, grab his wrist, and I have it right. If I do lose it, then I'm right into side control. So I get the sweep, and now I get the pin. Step over, then I tap. And even if I'm like, I don't want the armbar from here, I'm gonna fall to my side, pinch his head, grab his hand, put it underneath my chin, I'm gonna violate him till his arm breaks. Okay? Because I know I've got the elbow isolated and the shoulder isolated, I can finish.
2 general questions.
Yeah.
Why did you include the one Kimura and everything else is an armbar?
Just because it's there, if they defend, it's just because people will do that. They'll hook that in for the defense, so it's there.
It's really cool.
It is. It's really. It's
The
a
second question
Yeah.
is, how did you get 10 years younger? This is last king. Besides the shaving up.
HD. The mustache. Yeah.
It's a little 10 years older, yeah.
Quick question on the roll. When you roll over there and you're coming up in the side control,
Yeah.
you ever take that bicep slicer?
If it's there.
All right.
Yeah. If it's there, I'll take it. If it's not naturally there, I'm not going to fight it.
All right.
Because if I'm fighting that, I'm not pinning him,
Yeah.
and I'd rather pin him
Okay.
and set something else up, right? Because I don't have necessarily control for that submission. So if I don't have control, I don't deserve it.
Okay.
Right? I want to pin. I want to control. Right? I want to isolate and lock it down. That his natural defense leads to the submission. Okay. You guys want to give this one a try? So once again, I'm just driving my shins in, blocking them out, pulling that armbar, right? I can break it there. He can roll over. He can try to step over, whatever he wants. Just hold it, and when you're ready, pop the hip tap. All right, let's give that a try.